let's talk about our world and our waste. On the surface, it seems pretty simple, right? But the connection between the two, well, that's one of the biggest stories of our time. Today, we're going to break down how that tiny little act of throwing something away connects to a much, much bigger picture. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? You toss something in the bin, drag it to the curb, and poof, it's gone. But that's just the start of its journey. So where is it actually headed? And that's maybe the most important thing to wrap your head around. We talk about throwing things away, but here's the thing. There is no away. Just because you can't see it anymore doesn't mean it vanished. It has to go somewhere. Okay, so let's dig into that. Let's start at the very beginning by trying to understand the incredible scale of our daily waste problem and, figure out where all that stuff actually ends up. For a huge chunk of our trash, this is its final resting place, a landfill. It's pretty much what it sounds like, a giant, designated piece of land where we bury our garbage. It's a way to get it out of sight, but burying all that waste creates a whole host of other problems. Just take a look at this number for a second. 9,000 tons. That's how much waste some recycling facilities have to sort through every single day. And a ton is 1,000 kilograms. It's just a mind-boggling amount of stuff to handle, day in and day out. So if we're not burying our trash, what's the other main option? Well, a lot of the time we burn it. But as you can see, that comes with its own serious baggage. Burning waste can release all sorts of harmful chemicals right into the air we breathe. So yeah, it's pretty clear that neither burying nor burning is a perfect solution. But look, it's not all bad news. For decades, we've actually had a really powerful playbook for how to do things better. So let's get into these classic solutions and see how they can help. You know 'em, you love 'em. The 3 R's. First up, and honestly the most important one, is to reduce. Just make less trash in the first place. Then there's reuse, finding ways to use stuff again and again. And finally, recycle, which is the whole process of turning old materials into something brand new. Now, this is something people get mixed up all the time, so let's clear it up. Reusing is super simple. You just use your water bottle again tomorrow. Easy. Recycling, though, that's a whole industrial process. That same bottle gets chopped up, melted down, and turned into something totally different, like carpeting or a new piece of furniture. Both are good, but they are not the same thing. And we can't forget about all our organic waste. Coffee grounds, apple cores, all that stuff. Instead of letting it rot in a landfill, we can compost it. This literally turns old food into amazing, nutrient-rich soil that helps new things grow. It's basically nature's own recycling program, and it's awesome. All right, now we get to the really creative part. What if we started to see our waste not as a problem, but as an opportunity, a raw material? That is the whole idea behind this next section, turning trash into treasure. Let me introduce you to upcycling. This is like the next level of reuse. It's not just about using something again, it's about transforming it into something even better than it was before. The key words here are new and better. This quote just nails the whole spirit of upcycling, doesn't it? It's that moment of inspiration, that spark, when you look at a piece of junk and think, wait a minute, I know what I could do with that. And hey, you don't have to be a master craftsperson to do this. Upcycling can be super simple. Got an old t-shirt? It could be a pillow. A beat-up old table? A coat of paint? And bam, it's the coolest piece in your room. And even a simple glass jar can become a beautiful home for a plant.
So far, we've been focused pretty close to home, on our own trash, our own actions. But now it's time to pull the camera all the way back. We need to connect our daily habits to the massive, planet-sized picture.
The reason all this matters so much is because our whole system, how we make things, use them, and throw them away, is a huge driver of climate change. And we're not just talking about one hot summer. We're talking about a massive, long-term shift in the Earth's entire operating system. And that's a really important difference. Weather is what's happening outside your window right now, if it's sunny or rainy. Climate is the bigger pattern. It's the story of the weather over decades, even centuries. And it's that long-term predictable pattern that's being disrupted. So what's causing this huge shift? Well, the science is really clear on this one. It's us, our collective human activities, from burning fossil fuels to all the stuff breaking down in landfills, are pumping gases into the atmosphere that trap heat and warm up the planet. And look, this isn't some abstract problem for our grandkids. It's happening right now. Incredible places like the Amazon rainforest, natural wonders like the Great Barrier Reef, and even entire island nations like Tuvalu are already in serious danger. The consequences are very real. Okay, I know, that was pretty heavy. But feeling overwhelmed doesn't actually solve anything. What we need to do now is take that knowledge and that concern and turn it into real, meaningful action. A great way to get started is to think in terms of a proposal. It sounds a little formal, but really all it means is taking a vague idea and turning it into a concrete plan. It forces you to say, okay, here's the problem, and here are the actual steps to fix it. And maybe this is the most important shift of all, changing how we see ourselves, not just as people who use stuff, but as protectors, as caretakers who are actively looking after our planet and keeping it safe. It's a really powerful idea. And that right there is the bottom line. No one person, no single company, not even one country can solve a problem this big alone. It's going to take all of us working together, sharing ideas, and taking responsibility for the only home we've got. So now that we've walked through the problem and some of the solutions, the final question really isn't about what can be done. It's about what you will do. What's your idea? What's your plan? What's your proposal?